Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick video on making the basic guitar outline or shape. There are so many ways to do it in Rhino because the amount of tools available, but there seems to be one way that just works better than the rest. That's with the control point curve. I've got a couple of examples of good and bad versions of the same shape, I suppose. So this one you can see there's minimal control points, whereas in this one you can see there's a lot. And this is really important for when it comes to doing like 3D carves on the back of the guitar, and even if you're wanting to do 3D carves on the front of the guitar, because you need to manipulate these control points during those steps, and you can't do that if you've got a bunch of them. So I wanted to do a quick demonstration of basically how I go about tracing a guitar. This isn't something I recommend if you're wanting to build. I highly recommend you designing your own, but of course tracing a guitar for inspiration is absolutely fine as long as you manipulate it in some way. So to get a picture to trace around into Rhino, you want to go to the View button, Background Bitmap, and if you click Place, it will come up with a finder that you can just select the image and drop it into your Rhino file. I'm going to start with the control point curve. This is basically the only tool you need except for the center line, which is important. And the only real rule I'm going to say is, well, there's two. One, keep the amount of control points to an absolute minimum. If you don't need one in a certain place, then don't put one. And B, I suppose the way I go about it is whenever I see a change in the curve or like a different radius, I'll place 3 points, one at the start, one at the middle of the curve, and one at the end. So if we're looking at, for example, the top, or what I'm basically trying to highlight here, you'll see that there's 3 curves. You've got this one, then it goes down into another curve, and then it comes back up into another curve. So for a section like this, I would have one at the start, one at the middle, and one at the end. And I basically just follow that all the way around the guitar. So we've already got one at the start of this curve, middle, end, middle, end, middle, end, and you just continue. You want, again, as little as possible. I know it's difficult around the horns though, so one extra there isn't going to really matter. I'm just going to make a random shape that I can use later to create my neck joint. And I know this looks like shit right now, but I'm going to fix that. So I've just got a very basic shape here. Now you can either press F10 or come down to the points on, and we can start dragging these points around the guitar. You probably will need to go around the guitar a couple times doing this, as you can see when you change one control point or you drag it, it'll affect more than just that small section. It will start affecting the control point before it. So you just got to keep going around the guitar, refining it, I suppose, getting it as close as you want. And that to me looks good, so I'm going to turn my points off. I'm going to click View, Background Bitmap, Hide, And there we have it. Basic guitar outline with very, very few points. One thing I will go and do quickly is turn the background back on. And I'm gonna kind of try and find a center line from this. So as it's 7 string, we can go from the middle string hole, and we can also, here's the center line on the guitar. We could go, yeah, I'm just gonna pick roughly the center of this. So we've got a pretty good idea for the center line now. I can then once again hide the background. Now I'm going to do a quick rotate command from the, make sure you're selecting the end of this and the end of this. So now I can make it horizontal. So there you go. There's a super quick way and good way of basically creating the outline of a guitar. Just a couple quick notes I should mention before I go. For the rotating, if you want to make sure it's like a perfect 90 degree, you can either select ortho down here and it will automatically snap to the next 90 degree basically, or if you want to turn that off, you can toggle it on and off with the shift key. So say I want to move this up, hold shift, and here we go, perfect 90 degrees. The other thing was, when it comes to the control points, let me just turn these on quickly. For if you're having issues with them snapping to other lines, other bits, you can hold Alt and it will basically make it completely free to move around without snapping or anything. So I hope that helped. If you have any requests or anything you want to know, just leave a comment and I'll get to it.